Hello. Now, you might wonder what this topic has got to do with being an amputee. Well, there's a really obvious reason why I want to talk about this, and that is because I actually popped into work the other day to step on the scales, and the reason for that was the trousers that I've had for a long time, which were fitted well, got loose, fitted well, got tight, got a little bit loose again, and I was curious to see what had happened, so I went and stepped on the scales. Now, I don't step on the scales at all, ever. I hate them. But the prosthetist, right at the start, when I first went for my very first appointment, asked me how heavy it was, and I wondered why on earth we needed to know this. And apparently it's for parts purposes, so certain parts are good to a certain weight limit, and so the leg needs to be able to hold you up. So for that reason only, I stepped on the scales after I'd visited him the first time, and that was after the amputation. Now, I was a bit disgusted by what the scales said, considering they'd chopped 5 kilos off me, and the scales still didn't say a nice number as far as I was concerned. However, I have sat around for the last year or so not doing much because of the pain and the problem that I've had with this left foot. So that means that I haven't done anything different for the rest of my lifestyle, and of course I've put on weight. Now, I don't really think there's much I could have done about that, but now there is. Now, all the way along, I haven't changed my eating patterns really at all. Now, I don't eat a whole heap of junk, but there are some interesting behaviour patterns I noticed whilst I was sitting on my ass and since I have been back exercising. So, when I am exercising, actually the opposite thing happens, and I find that I get less hungry, and I sometimes I crave like sugar, and so I used to have some jelly beans in the car, and I used to have a couple of jelly beans. I've done a really big session, but most of the time I crave fruit and stuff like that. And I do notice when I'm exercising, my appetite is smaller. Now, as time went on and I was sitting doing not a lot, the craving for junk food grew and grew. The jelly beans I had to throw out because I was eating them just because, not because I'd done any exercise. And it was really interesting because the fatty diet craving increased the less that I did. So I stepped on the scales yesterday, on my way to the pool, and I found, now I've not taken into account the weight of the prosthetic leg. I stood in the scales without the leg, and I stood in the scales with the leg this time, and I've minused the weight of the leg off the total weight because I know how much that weighs. I stuck it on the scales by itself, and the total loss since I went to the first limb centre appointment is 5 kilos. Now, the first limb centre appointment was 7 weeks after my surgery. We're now on 11. But 2 of them I was still sitting down again because I bashed my knee and cut my leg and ended up not being able to do anything. So the first time I did any exercise properly since I got on the other side of the amputation surgery was the 12th of December. That was the first swim I went for. Now, since the 12th of December up until today, I've done nearly 22,000 meters of swimming. Now, yes, I've thrown myself in at the deep end, literally, but it just goes to show you that even though I have done nothing else, I've just carried on eating the same, but I am now exercising and still eating what I was eating before, I have lost 5 kilos. So how do you lose 5 kilos in 14 days? Well, the answer is simple. You need to be in calorie deficit. So I was eating more calories than I was expending. So therefore I grew and grew and grew. And then suddenly I carried on eating the same amount of calories, but then I was doing more exercise. So then we've gone the other way. It's a really simple equation. Now, I have not gone hard and fast. I haven't bust my ass. I haven't been gasping for breath and doing HIIT sessions or anything like that. I've been really careful because I've got to be careful of the knee replacement and I don't want to overstress it. So I've been doing steady state cardio exercise and some strength work based on rehab. I have not really put myself out of breath at all. But what I've done is done it consistently and as near to daily as I can. Now, my shoulders spend a lot of time holding me up. So I have cut 1 or 2 days. I've actually not done any exercise whatsoever to rest the shoulders because it's only my shoulders that are doing the work at the moment, mostly. But it just goes to show you that if you do more exercise than you are eating in calories, it is possible. Now, I was not doing a really hard effort to try and lose a heap of weight in a short time, so I was quite surprised when I discovered that that was the volume. Now, I will expect it to slow down over time, but I'm also expecting another little kick when I'm able to go back cycling again as well. So my tip to you would be this. If you're looking to lose some extra body fat, you need to find a lifestyle choice that suits you. You don't want to punish yourself with diets and lists of things you can't eat. You don't want to punish yourself with HIIT sessions in the gym if you don't like them. Find something you like to do. I love swimming and I've been there nearly every day since I have been able to swim on the 12th of December. 22,000 meters actually. So not sure how many lengths that is. I'll have to work it out. Anyway, find an exercise or a lifestyle choice that suits you. Now, I could do that in walking if I had 2 feet. It is just the same. Find an exercise lifestyle choice that suits you and do it consistently. That's my tip.